What's going on, everybody? It's Cassius, and welcome back to another brand new interview here on the channel. Quick disclaimer about this conversation you're about to see with Robert Ortiz. We did have to cut out the first few minutes of this interview due to technical difficulties, so it may seem like it's sort of starting somewhere in the middle or at a random question. Truth be told, we had a few minutes before this. The file was damaged and corrupted, so we made the decision to take that part out. And I figured, why not just give you guys what we have? It was an awesome conversation with Robert. Really happy that he took the time to stop by the show. And I also want to take a second to thank you guys for all the support you've been showing on the recent interviews. The number one way you can support me and support this channel is to click that like button and click that subscribe down below so that you can be notified about all videos. I would really appreciate everybody who can do this. I put a lot of man hours into making content for you guys to enjoy completely free. And if you do want extra content, please consider becoming a channel member here on Cassius Morris Official. Go ahead and click that join button down below, and for a fee every single month, you can access exclusive content, polls, and videos right here on the channel that you're not going to see anywhere else. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Robert Ortiz. So in terms of like lineup changes in general and sort of the personal issues in the group, having been here since day one, is that like a big thing that affects the experience of the tours and the albums overall?
The main thing for me is that it creates this weird, like the dynamic is like it creates a sort of entitlement and an ownership for me, which I don't think is fair. Because I've always tried to make sure to include everyone and do those things, but I'm also selfish in my visions. So if I have an opinion of how I want something, I'm always very loud about it, and I'm kind of an asshole a lot of times, to be quite frank. So I need to work on that more. But over the years now, it's reached that point where I understand that we all have different drives at different times in life. And like I said, Craig's leadership has been amazing over the last couple. So I sort of let him take the reins, and I step in when I have to say, hey, man, you know, I feel like maybe we shouldn't go this direction, or I need this time off or whatever because let's just keep it real. We're a band, we travel, and it takes a lot of fucking time. You can't just go to work and be home that night. It's like to play one show for 30 minutes to an hour is like, you're talking like 3 days or 4 days. And it's like, there's a process to that.
Absolutely.
So, you know, in his mind, it's like, well, the train has to keep moving. And for me, I'm like, but I'm fucking part of the train. Like it can't move without me.
Right.
So we'll fight and we'll butt heads. And at this point, that is the biggest part of what is difficult to figure out, you know, because we're not kids anymore. We're not like, fuck it, let's go, like say yes to every tour. And so that sort of sense of entitlement can be to a detriment for the band, but for me it's sometimes needed, and I like that I can do it. But then at the same time, he knows I'm committed. I'm in it for fucking life. This is
you're doing it because you love it, man.
It's what I do. It's not even that I love it. It's just what I do. It's like I don't know any other way to live. Like you know, I don't like. What am I do? I quit. Like, oh, good. All right. What am I qualified to do? Nothing. You know. And
I hear you, man. I can relate it in my own boat too. You know what I mean? It's not like you love every second of what you do. Is that maybe the biggest misconception about, you know, jobs, especially in music? Like people will assume that every second of it is the enjoyable part, when really, you know, like you're enjoying that hour on stage, and the rest, like you say, is a lot of labor.
Yeah, it definitely has a how do you put it? It's like you said, and it is a cliche to kind of say it, but yeah, when you're actually doing the thing, that's what's fun. Playing shows, meeting people, and having that adulation. For me, it's not like I feel like an ego thing for me. It's more like I know what it's like to be 14 years old, or, you know, or even grown up, where it's like, I can't believe I'm meeting you. This is the person that I listen to every day, and to be a fan and excited. And I get to be that moment for somebody. And when I can be, I will take it and I'll do it. And I'm like, this is really cool to be able to make someone's day like that. but that's fun, and the shows are fun, the creativity's fun, all of that. But then, yeah, dude, there's a work. Everything that you do is going to have a work and a sacrifice to it. For us, it typically tends to be the travel. And I
Yeah.
like the travel at times. I like where am I going to eat today? What's
Yeah.
out there kind of vibe. But I'm away and I miss my
Hmm.
kids and I miss my family and I miss being able to go to my own bathroom. I miss like all
Yeah. The
those little
basics, right?
things. Yeah, all of that stuff. It becomes a chore. And yeah, money's being a business owner. People forget that you're
Hmm.
owning a business.
Music
It's
business.
it's it it's never certain. One year you on top of the world, 6 months later, you're like, holy shit, what am I gonna do? And then you never know how much money you can spend. You never know if you can
Yeah.
like, I'm set for life. I'm set for a few months. Shit, what do I do? Like you don't, it's those parts make it very challenging. And oftentimes early on, great bands break up because of these things, because
Yeah.
they want more comfort. And I've just never been like that, wired like that. I long for it, but realistically, I wouldn't know what to do with it. It
Hmm.
keeps me on my toes. It keeps me wanting to, nope, I got to get this shit done. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go. So
Yeah.
it's a
It's like a
different way
certain
of looking.
mindset, right? It almost changes the way that you view life and the way you live your life, maybe even in other ways when you're not like directly on that tour or in that moment, because it just changes your perception about the future.
It totally does. And and like I have my best friend, he's actually right now recording a song with his friend. He has a job, he has a regular job. He sells stuff and all that. And he's always talking about how my job's so easy and everything. And I'm like, bro, do you understand how challenging it is to work with other people? It's
Yeah.
like it's not that it's laborious in that regard, but it's mentally weird, and not everyone knows how to do it or can do it. And you
Yeah.
get tired and you want to do something else, and you just get bored at times, or you just are tired of fighting people, and you're tired of being tired because you're
Yeah.
physically living on a moving vehicle. Like there's so many things that people think is like extravagant that it's just not, even at the highest level. Even at,
Mhm.
like, I remember Garth Brooks retired from music, selling out stadiums, making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. He retired because like, I need to be a dad, because you can't do it
That's
all.
huge though, man.
Yep, exactly, man. So
Wow.
it's a weird job, that's for sure.
And that's respectable too. Like, I'd much rather hear, guys like you expressing this sentiment than, not to care, right? I mean, it's obviously an honorable thing that, the family is at the front of the focus, because I think a lot of people maybe lose that as well, like some people do.
Oh yeah. No, it's because you can get caught up,
Yeah.
and it's not just in my job.
Yeah.
I have a friend, we talk we are our kids play together. So like we always hang out, we take them places so they could play. And we'll sit and talk, and he's been divorced and all those things, and he would run restaurants, and he was making good money doing that, but it sacrificed his family, and he was so focused on his work, and it was just like,
Yeah.
I gotta be there, it's the holidays, this is a big money maker for us.
Yeah.
And meanwhile his family's like, we're so it's not just limited to what I do, but it's just that mentality, a hustle mentality, that's just kind of different.
Without a doubt. So I mean, in terms of balancing that, like, do you balance that with your boxing and your training and sort of the other elements that you do?
Totally, man.
Yeah.
That like, I have to turn it off. Like if you come to my house, I don't have pictures of the band up. I
Hmm.
don't have albums up.
Right. The usual stuff.
I don't do that. Like when I'm home, I'm home. Even having this room
Mhm.
is weird to me because my bedroom's right there. So that door
Right.
gets fucking closed because I don't even want to look at my
That's the
electronic kit or
workroom.
whatever. Yeah, it's the workroom, right? So because I need to disconnect and disassociate and be in my home life. And it's kind of that sort of Kobe Bryant Black Mamba mentality
Right.
where you turn it on and then you got to turn it off, because
For
I'll
sure.
just go, I get tunnel vision with things, and it's just like I just alienate everything else and I'll focus on the one thing. So it's hard to I disregard my career when I'm with my family, and I disregard my family when I'm in my career. So it is a
Right.
hard balance. So you have to just work at it. It's a work in progress because they all require different things of you at different times. But I try. But from the therapy aspect, to answer your question directly, yeah, the working out and the boxing shit and all that dude, that's a lifesaver for me. And I'll wake
Yeah.
up at like 3 in the morning to go do it because
Wow.
I I just need like that hour or two of
For sure.
I'm not thinking about anything except not getting punched in the face. And I'm
Right.
thinking of putting this weight up and it not crushing my spine. Like that's therapy for me. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily therapy, sitting meditation, talking to someone all the time. It's like a moving thing just because my mind can be cleared of anything else.
Yeah.
And then I can go back into it and I'm kind of recharged.
Absolutely. I mean, when it comes to like touring, do you actually do this while you're touring, or is it like, you have to wear those different hats at different times?
Oh yeah, well I'm touring too,
Dang.
especially when I'm touring.
That's
So
intensive, man.
I'm tired a lot.
Yeah, no wonder you're tired. I'm gonna say I'm
I,
tired just thinking about this right now.
I put my body through a lot. By the end of a tour, I'm like, I feel like I've been in a car wreck sometimes. And I was actually talking to my manager because he's like, dude, we can't do this forever. Like your body's gonna wear out. I'm like, yeah. So I'm pacing myself more now, where
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand and I can't do it. And athletes, and I'm a drummer. Drummers are always the first to go from the band because it's the most physically
Mm,
demanding. And so it's like when you're putting that weight and that stress on your body, my neck is like gets fucked up a lot.
mm.
And so it's like you have to step back and dial it in. Athletes start to retire in their early
Yeah.
30s. And so you can't do it forever. Your body breaks down. So I just try to stay in shape and just kind of, it's more of the therapy of it. Like I'm not pushing myself. I'm not trying to like break records or whatever that like my personal best. I'm just going and enjoying it. And some days I'm like, yeah, feeling it. Other days I'm just like, it's just cool. Let's just do
Yeah.
the thing. But it works out. I get to eat a lot more.
There you go. That's always the good part. I'm sure you can come up with some creative stuff too. So obviously shows coming up September 1st, the new record, and you guys have a show on September 1st as well, correct?
I believe so. I think that one's Denver. I'm
Summit
not
in
sure.
Denver, right? Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
going to be cool. Is that like an album release concert, or is that just like a regular show?
No, it's part of the tour, but I guess
Nice.
it'll turn into
It'll
an
be a
album
dual
release
thing.
party.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, it should be because the tour's already like gone. We're in Salt Lake
Yeah.
the night before and stuff, so that's all part of it. But it's weird. It's exciting. It's nerve wracking. I'm not sure how people will perceive anything, and it's always when you're an artist, like it's always about like, do people care and how do I
Mm,
get them to care? And you're so
right.
insecure, even at the highest level. There is not a
Yeah.
single person that isn't worried. If you're selling out stadiums, you're worried that you're not going to sell out the stadium. You're going to be back in arenas. And
Exactly.
I would love that problem. But no matter who you are, you're always uncertain about how people like are going to perceive a thing, how they're going to feel about it. And you hope that they enjoy it, that they might like it. So yeah, we got a tour. We're going to play a lot of the new songs. We're going to play all the classic favorites, and we're going to play some deep cuts that we don't normally play. So we're really pulling out the stops for us on this tour. We're bringing some production. We're not going to bring home any money. Like we talked about it. We're like,
You're putting it all
we
in the
got to go
show.
big. We got to go big, dude. We got to go big because if we don't do it now, when are we going to do it? We kind of
Why
quit
wait,
playing it
man?
safe. Like I'm going to be out on the road. There's money to be made. You can always make money, but you can't always put on a sick fucking show. So that's what
Yeah.
we're going to do. And I'm nervous about it. I'm excited about it. The technology makes things harder. It's scary, but it's going to be so fucking awesome. I love that. I love when we're about to go on stage and you don't know what's going to happen and you're
Exactly.
scared and you're like, what if what if I don't hear the click? And you're
Right.
like, you're so scared. What if the big ass LED wall breaks and it's just like,
But I'm going to do it
I
anyway.
love that, dude. I love it. That's part of why I like that boxing stuff. Cause it's like, here we go. We could just kind of mess around, hit each other.
That's
You
it.
might chip my tooth. You might knock me out without even trying. Like I love that
Exactly.
fear. Like, cause then what that causes you to do is you live in the moment. and you're
Yeah.
just existing in that very thing. You're not thinking about the future, you're not thinking about the past, you're thinking about right
Right
then and
now.
there. And that is a hard thing to do. So I'm fucking stoked for this tour because we're laying it all on the line.
Well, I know the fans are going to really appreciate all the effort that you guys are putting into it as well. Of course, we're going to have the links down below for everybody to go and get the new record, and of course, connect with you guys on all your socials. And congrats on all your success, man. Honestly, it's been an honor to speak with you today, man.
Oh no, it's not an honor, but you know, success is measured in different ways, and yeah, the fact to be able to be talking to you about something new after 20 years almost,
Yeah.
and you know, that's not you know, I was clearing out my storage. You know, I'm looking at all these old magazines. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know,
Hell yeah, man.
sometimes like I said, I don't keep things around my house, but sometimes when you reflect, like I think of all the bad times and stuff, and I'm like, no, we've done some cool stuff, man, and it's cool to be able to continue to do it.